Oh, so I have to organize some stuff real quick before we actually start. I just figured I'd do that. Yeah, I can tag you right there. Oh, trip almost. All right. Shoot. All right. Hello, YouTube. Skip the Wolf here back with another video for your viewing pleasure. I just got done listening to the new Slipknot album. Um, but before we get to that, in this music talk, I am going to talk about some songs that have been released recently. Some that I never even got to talk about. And I'm just going to go over some albums and stuff like that. So, as for singles, I know I referenced Godsmack, Disturbed, and Nickelback in the title, and I have not talked about the Nickelback song yet. Nickelback song is average, not great, but whatever. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. It's called San Quentin. It's there. I think Nickelback is kind of a gimmick, to be honest. Um, even though they say it's going to be a heavier album, I basically think like this album would be like if it was released in 2020, it probably would have sucked more. But now it's coming out, we haven't had a new Nickelback album in a while. It'll probably be average, maybe. I don't know. I don't hate Nickelback as much as other people, so whatever. Sideways thumb. Um, Same with the new Godsmack song that was just released. Whatever that was, Surrender or something like that. Yeah, it's called Surrender. It's more of the same from When Legends Rise, that kind of sound. And I'm not necessarily moved as much by that. I'm not really moved by Godsmack in general, even though I have pretty much all their albums for archiving's sake and all this stuff. Um, there's only like a couple really good Godsmack albums, and even then, there's better in my opinion. Um, I think their first one's fine, and Faceless, pretty solid. Also, 1,000 horsepower is fine. Um, but yeah, I'm not like super huge on Godsmack. Like it's average radio walk. That's what it is. Another thumb sideways. It's not like negative. I don't have any negative feelings about that Godsmack song, but whatever. Other singles that um, New Disturbed was released last week, and I already listened to that song called Unstoppable. This one is actually a bit better than the previous two I mentioned because better. Um, Disturbed has better writing and stuff, and I think the performance is better and all that stuff. So, yeah, the new album Divisive comes out November, the same day Nickelback's album comes out. I think on the 18th, along with the Nutella album. Um, Disturbed's album's looking pretty good, to be honest. Like, not amazing, but good. I mean, like, I think Hey You is a better song, but Unstoppable is fine. It's solid. It's better than the previous two songs that I talked about. So, yeah, that one gets a thumbs up. Kind of a mild thumbs up for that. Even though it's nothing, it's not like the best song ever, in my opinion. There's a couple other songs. Thrice released a new song, which I assume might be on a deluxe edition of Horizons East. Because if you look at the cover artwork for Open Your Eyes and Dream, that's the song. It's basically the same, like a piece of the album cover for that. So it's probably just some B side or deluxe track or whatever. And it sounds pretty good, to be honest. Um, I listened to the new Red Hot Chili Peppers song that was released called Eddie. And I think this one's better than the song Tip of My Tongue, to be honest. Tip of My Tongue I wasn't that big on, but Eddie I'm relatively solid on, at least. And Thousand Below, they have new songs out. One called Face to Face. That song's pretty good. So yeah, let's get on to the new Slipknot album. Now this is coming from their previous album, which of course was "We Are Not Your Kind," which I thought was one of their best albums in my personal opinion. And going into this album, I was fearing that it was gonna be the same exact, like it was gonna feel kind of like a "We Are Not Your Kind" B-sides album. Like I didn't think it was gonna be too much to write home about. It was gonna be good, but it was gonna be, just eh. Like because that you gotta remember, "We Are Not Your Kind" was like put Slipknot back on the right track. Like it, the music was better, the quality was better, like everything was better on that album than their previous album, Five, the Great Chapter, which kind of was just in one ear and out the other. It's fine. I don't think Slipknot's ever made a bad album, but like that one, it's okay. Like it's just okay. So listening to this album, the end so far, I kind of got a feeling. I kind of got like a feeling where it was like, oh, this is probably going to be the same. When I got to the songs Hive Mind and Warranty, um, Hive Mind especially, I was thinking, I hope the rest of the album isn't really like this because this just sounds like they redid Unsainted and put different lyrics on it or whatever. Same thing with the Dying Song Time to Sing, honestly, and the Chapeltown Rag, kind of, even though that song is pretty good. Um, the opening track, Adderall, is pretty interesting. Um, it's kind of like more melodic, not really heavy. Like, I don't know if that was the intention or not, but like, I do like that about the song. Um, and then Yen is another solid cut. Like one of their softer songs, more radio friendly and stuff. It was when I got to Medicine for the Dead and the second half of the album, I think this album really starts to pick up and becomes more than just, We Are Not Your Kind Part 2. Like more than just unsainted, like clones, or like clones of like Orphan or other songs from that album. And I feel like this album does begin to get its own identity. It's more melodic, and it's it has the experimental quality that We Are Not Your kind of had. This one does too. Like it's pretty solid on that. Like, and I really do like the slower, like aggression in some of these songs, like "Medicine for the Dead," that aforementioned song, "Acidic," that song, H377, which I'm assuming is Hell, like that's what it is, and Desod, whatever you pronounce that. Like those four tracks in particular really like piqued my interest a lot on this album. I felt like this album um, kind of like made me interested in the album like a little bit more, and yeah, it's definitely good stuff. It's definitely good stuff for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking "Medicine for the Dead" or "Sick" is probably one of my favorite songs of the album. Um, or Desod or Desod. Leave it in the comments if you want to know how it's pronounced. If I'm pronouncing that one wrong because I'm not really sure. I heard it said in the song, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, um, yeah, I'm trying to think about the highlight. I think my least favorite would probably be Hive Mind because it sounds like because we've heard that kind of song stylistically before from Slipknot, so I'm just like it's not like special as the other songs on the album. Like it just sounds like they're doing like I said, it sounds like Unsainted but with different lyrics and kind of different variated riffs and stuff. Like so I'm not a huge fan of that one. Keep in mind these are my first initial thoughts, like as well. But I don't really think Hive Mind will even be like the best song, like even if I listen to this album more or whatever. So yeah, so overall my predictions were correct. It's not as good as We Are Not Your Kind. Is somebody coming in? Hold on a second. I'm doing a video. Alright. Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry about that. So anyway, what I was saying is overall, the end so far is not nearly as good as We Are Not Your Kind. Um, just, but it's still good. It's still like pretty solid. I would probably rate this because now Slipknot has 7 albums, probably in the middle of their discography. It's good. It's just not like their defining album. Like I think the debut album was, or We Are Not Your Kind was, because those 2 albums I think really define the band. Even Iowa, like because they really like defined themselves with those 2 albums, and if you include Iowa, the 3 albums actually. Um, yeah, so far it's definitely in the middle of their discography. It's still pretty good. It's still definitely one of the better moments of the year, like one of the better mainstream, like big releases of the year. So yeah, score wise, this is 8 out of 10. Um, and I don't think I've done it in a while where I've like rated it, given it like different ratings to give it more context. But I'll um, say it's probably a 3 or 3. No, it's a 3-star album, 3 out of 4. Um, and it's a B. It's a good B. It's a it's definitely recommended. Like if you like Slipknot, you'll like this album. If you like Slipknot's newer sound, you'll probably like this album. If you're looking for something that's exactly like the debut, then I mean, the song H377 comes close to that, but I mean, like, you're not gonna get it from this album because Slipknot's older, the band members are older, and they're not gonna be all crazy like they were back in 1999. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Slipknot album. Yeah, definitely a good album. Definitely worth checking out if it sounds interesting to you. Um, yeah, also, really quickly, I did listen to the new Novelists album, Deja Vu. It's basically just an EP marketed as a full album with 12 songs and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of interludes on that album. Like, there's like 4 interludes, 5 interludes. And it's basically 7 songs and 5 it's kind of disappointing on that, but the music sounded fine, so I'd probably give it a 6 or 7 if I wanted to rate it. Um, yeah. So that's it with the September stuff. Now it's time to get into October, where it's going to be pretty interesting to see what's coming up. Because we have Bush and Lamb of God coming out next week, the 14th, which is jam packed. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nothing More, Alter Bridge, We Came as Romans, other bands um, that I'm not really remembering off the top of my head, and I feel really bad because I don't really remember as much. I have to refresh my memory. October 21st is Architects. October 28th, Fire from the Gods, Demon Hunter, and some other stuff. Fit for a King, I think. I don't really listen to Fit for a King, but I'm gonna go to. I'm just gonna recap the 2022 heavy metal music lineup to see if what comes out on October 14th, because it's a lot. I also forgot that October 7th was also the day the new what's that band called? Um, Counterparts album comes out. I forgot about that. The 14th, Alter Bridge, One Ashore, Nothing More, Sleeping Signs, Burials, We Came as Romans, Outlined in Color. Yeah, October 14th is going to be the jam-packed day where there's so much stuff. And then November, we don't have much, although November 18th, as I alluded to earlier, is pretty packed with Disturbed and Nickelback. Because those are high-profile releases. Whether you like Nickelback or not, Nickelback is a big name. You know, Nickelback and Disturbed are both big names. Whether you like those bands or not, that's something to admit. You know, and Tella is like a new face to that, so with a lot of potential. So yeah, and November 4th has Dayseeker's new album, which I'll probably check that out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Leave all thoughts that you have about anything I talk about in this video in the comment section down below, and I'll make sure to see you later. I do have a pickup video, a CD pickup video on the way. I filmed it Monday, but I was just busy. I was just kind of either busy or lazy. A little bit of both. So that's going to be coming pretty soon here. And I do plan to try and get the Slipknot album tomorrow. If I can't, then that's that. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up getting it tomorrow. So that's pretty much it for the video. So let me know what you think. This is Skip Wolf signing out. Take care. All right.